This film demonstrates how to replace components of the disc brake. For the correct installation of those brake components, the following tools are required. Piston retracting tool, dial indicator supported on a magnetic stand, torque wrench, and further standard tools. Once the car is lifted, check the wheel bearings as well as all components of the steering system. Any looseness should be removed through adjustment or replacement. First, remove the wheel. Then turn the axle and perform a visual inspection of the suspension and braking systems to detect visible defects. Among other things, you should also check the condition of the joint dust covers and the brake hoses. Brake hoses expand and weaken due to thermal stress and environmental impacts. This reduces the pressure transferred to the brake caliper, and the braking process may occur to be insufficient and dramatically ineffective. Brake hoses should be replaced every 2 to 5 years depending on the vehicle. Bosch brake hoses are characterized by the use of OE identical connectors and hose materials, a maximum mechanical strength, and chemical resistance to oils, fuels, and environmental influences. Start removing the brake caliper, which is fixed by 2 bolts. Then carefully inspect the dust cover of the brake piston. If the dust cover is damaged or the brake piston rusty, replace the brake caliper with a new one. Place the brake caliper securely so as not to damage the brake line without limiting access to the rest of elements. Before disassembling the carrier, the brake pads have to be removed. This is done by taking off the mounting bolts. Unscrew the mounting bolt that holds the disc in place when the wheel is removed. Then carefully pull the brake disc off the wheel hub. If the brake disc does not need to be replaced, the wheel hub mounting flange and brake disc assembly must be thoroughly cleaned to remove any contamination or traces of rust. Before a wheel hub axial runout measurement is performed, the wheel hub must be thoroughly cleaned to remove any contamination or traces of rust. To measure the wheel hub axial runout, use the dial indicator on a magnetic stand. The magnetic stand should be fixed firmly. Place the dial indicator on the edge of the hub. Set the dial indicator to 0, then perform the axial runout measurement and rotate the hub 1 complete turn. Now is a good time to inspect the hub machining quality and check for deformations. The acceptable tolerance is defined by the car manufacturer. A deformed wheel hub should be replaced with a new one. To clean the carrier, fixate it. Thoroughly clean the sliding guides and the mounting surfaces. Dirt and contamination may cause the brake pads to jam during braking. All carrier brake pads contact surfaces should be treated with a thin film of brake lubricant. Apply lubricant on the brake pad contact surface on the carrier. Bosch recommends Superfit lubricant. Bosch Superfit is characterized by a high resistance to washout, an outstanding thermal behavior, and damping of resonance vibrations. Now refit the guide pin covers and apply Bosch Superfit lubricant on them. The next step is to push back the piston. Remove the cover and loosen the bleed screw slightly. Let the old brake fluid discharge while pushing back the piston. Use a piston retracting tool to retract the piston completely. This ensures that contaminated fluid cannot be pushed back up through the hose, as this could damage the ABS hydraulic unit. Now the new brake disc will be mounted. Bosch brake discs are characterized by extremely tight manufacturing tolerances, a high level of mechanical and thermal stability. Install the brake disc on a clean, fat and oil-free surface of the hub. Now screw in the mounting bolt securing the brake disc. To measure the brake disc axial runout, press the brake disc firmly to the hub. Distance plates can be used to compensate the thickness of the wheel rim. The wheel bolts have to be tightened evenly using a torque wrench. Place the dial indicator 0.4 inch from the edge of the brake disc. Set the dial indicator to 0. Mark the initial point from which you start the measurement. For ventilated brake discs, measurements should be performed on both sides. The results of the brake disc axial runout measured on both sides must not exceed the acceptable limit specified in the EasyTronic. Then the carrier can be reinstalled on the wheel hub. Information about the tightening torque required can be found in the EasyTronic. Now the new brake pads will be installed. Bosch brake pads are characterized by a short run-in time, high friction stability, and a high shear strength. A low compressibility, as well as noise and vibration-free braking. Ensure that the packaging is protected by a seal. Each genuine packaging should have an untempered security seal with the Bosch logo on it. A wide range of Bosch brake pads feature anti-squeal shims. These provide superior noise reduction. First, put Bosch Superfit on the sliders and the back plates of the pads. Then load the caliper with the pads. Now the brake caliper is installed. Bosch Exchange brake calipers feature the following advantages. Bosch Exchange has the same warranty and function as new parts. Using exchange parts is environmentally friendly. The brake caliper is now placed onto the carrier. Fix the brake caliper bolts with the correct torque. Now the brake hose has to be reconnected to the caliper. Connect the other side of the brake line and clip it back into place. Ensure that the brake hose is neither twisted nor rubbing against other vehicle parts. The brake bleeding procedure is the next step to be performed. Brake bleeding should always be performed after any work on hydraulic elements. The required type of the brake fluid is specified in the vehicle service manual. Please stick to the bleeding instructions. You can find them in the EasyTronic. Prior to refitting the wheels, make sure that the brake hose is located correctly. Before installing the wheel, inspect the condition of the contact surface between the rim and the brake disc. If the contact surface is dirty, corroded, or visibly tarnished, it needs to be cleaned. The same applies to the wheel bolts. Refit the wheel. Then tighten the bolts. Lower the jack completely, then tighten the bolts with a torque wrench according to the procedure found in the EasyTronic. Now, it's recommended to press the brake pedal 5 to 7 times to press the pistons back into the brake pads. Otherwise, a prolonged pedal travel could occur during the first braking actions. Afterwards, check the brake fluid level in the reservoir. After that, we can start bedding in the brake pads and the disc so the brake system reaches optimum operating efficiency. The procedure is simple. Drive at a speed of about 50 miles per hour. Then gently decelerate to 20 miles per hour. Repeat this procedure 5 to 6 times. Then, the wheel bolts should be checked and adjusted again with the required torque. At least a brake performance test is carried out on a roller brake tester. Measurement results should be printed and presented to the client. Benefit from Bosch as a strong partner. Bosch provides for the aftermarket and workshop sectors tested and reliable products, individually adapted and tested solutions for every vehicle, brake components exceeding legal standards, and an established professional support for the workshop with testing systems, trainings, and services from a single source. Full support for your brake business.
Bosch, invented for life.